Hello, this is Sandy Thorpe of GumbyYoga.com, and today we're going to explore some arm balances, starting off with a little arm balance series. Now, typically arm balances are yoga poses where you on your arms or your hands. They actually should call them hand balances, but they call them arm balances. And we're going to start with a fairly easy one today, and this one is easy because it's actually you won't be on your hands, but you'll be on one hand and one foot. So it's a little bit easier in that regard. And it's called Visvamitrasana, which is Vamitra's pose. Vamitra was the name of the sage. And it requires us to have our back arched and stretched out. So we're going to start with that. So we're going to start with just rolling the shoulders up and around. And again, inhale up and around. Let's bring the hands behind you and just push the hips forward. Press the knees down and push the hips up. And we're going to open up the chest and start to stretch out the back. And then bring the hips down. And we're going to bring it now to our knees. Not just hands and knees. Actually, we'll start with hands and knees. And from here, we're going to round the back all the way up this way. And then going into cow, we're going to arch the back the other way. So we're starting to get into that arched back pose and just kind of get ourselves used to that. Again, round it all the way up, exhale out into cat, and arch the back the other way, coming into cow. From here, let's pull it up to just our knees. And we're going to bring it into camel for a little bit more back archingness. Let's roll the shoulders up and around. And again, inhale up and around. One more time, inhale up. Stretch out this whole space on the whole front of the chest to the sternum down. Roll the arms back and then start to push the hips forward. We're going to start to arch the back and look up. And then gradually reach back and find our heels. Push the hips forward and hang out in camel just for a little bit of a time here. Just to stretch out the back, arch the back, get used to that pose. Let's release. And let's bring it to all fours. Again, round the back up into cat, arch the back the other way into cow. Bring it back to neutral and let's push back into child's pose. Just stretch out the arms in front. And from here, let's tuck the toes, pull the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Push way back with the hips, get a good stretch here. Let's go through a quick vinyasa. Come forward into plank. Lower down to chaturanga, up into up dog, and again pull the shoulders back. Let's release the chest all the way down and bring the arms by your sides. Let's bring the feet up behind you, reach back, finding each foot, and pull it up into bow dhanurasana. So again, another arched back pose just to kind of get used to that. Let's release. And tuck the toes, come back into downward facing dog. Now we're going to get into this from fallen star pose. So let's just play around with that a little bit. Let's raise the right leg up. Let's bring the right knee forward, bring it to your nose, stretch it out, bring the leg up. Let's let the leg fall over. And one more arched back pose. Let the foot fall all the way down. We're going to pull the hips up and reach back into the wild thing pose. So again, there's that stretch again. Let's come back into down dog, right leg up. And bring your right knee forward, bring it over to your left elbow, set it back. And again, right knee to your left elbow, extend the leg off the mat to your left, and then release your left arm up, coming into the fallen star pose. So from here, just tilt back a little bit, push the hips forward, push the chest forward. Let's release, bring the hand on the ground, bring that right foot back, into downward facing dog. Coming forward into plank, lower down, pull it up into up dog, flip the toes, and come back into down dog. For the other side, let's raise the left leg up, bring the left knee to your nose, send it back, let the leg fall over, completely all the way over, push the hips up, and coming into flip dog or the wild thing pose on this side. So again, push the hips up, and a great big stretch. Let's flip back, left leg up, and left knee is going to come over to your right elbow, send it back. And again, knee to your right elbow, extend the leg off the mat to your right, and release the right arm up. Coming back into the fallen star pose here. Let's bring the hand down to the ground, bring that left foot back into downward facing dog. Let's drop down to your knees. Pull it up, and let's just stretch out the wrists. Figure 8, the wrists, get a good stretch here. One direction, other direction, and shake them out. Okay, now we're going to go all the way. So starting first from child's pose, pushing back, and just taking a couple of breaths here, letting the hips settle in. From here, let's walk your hands off to the right, push the hips off to the left. Hands back to center, hips back to center. And walk your hands off to the left, push the hips off to the right. And hands back to center, hips back to center. From child's pose, let's tuck the toes, pull the hips up and back into down dog. And this time we're going to go all the way. So we're going to raise our right leg up. Bring your right knee to your nose, send it back. Maybe just let that leg hang over. A good stretch here. Extend the leg out, bring the knee over to your left tricep, send it back. And this time, knee to your left tricep, extend the leg off the mat to your left, release your left arm. Now from here, see if you can raise your right foot off the ground. If you're there, see if you can reach your left hand over. Find that big toe. And we're going to pull the leg up and then pull it towards the front of your mat. Shift your hips forward and see if you can get your arm all the way over your head. Release and send it back. Let's drop down to the knees and push back into child's pose. We're going to stretch out the wrists. And settle in. Take a couple of breaths here. How'd we do with that? I'm going to try the other side. So when you're ready, let's tuck the toes, pull the hips back. Raise the left leg up, maybe let the leg flop over, just get a stretch here. And then extend that leg straight out behind you. Exhale, bring the knee to your nose, stand it back. And bring the knee over to your right elbow, your right tricep, send it back. And one more time, knee to the right tricep, extend the leg off the mat to your right. We're going to release the right arm up, tilt back. Again, a great big stretch. See if you can raise your left foot off the ground. See if you can reach forward, find the toe, lift it up, and then lift it up and over your head. Release, send it back. Let's drop down to the knees, push back into child's pose. pull it up. So we're going to go through that one more time, and this time we're going to go into a couple of options for how to get out of it. So you may find that you can just go back into down dog, but if you can't, there's some other fairly elegant ways to get out of it. So from your down dog, whichever leg you want to try, you can give it a try. Raise that leg up, lean forward to the opposite tricep, release the arm up, tilt back. Again, lift up the foot, reach forward, find it, lift it to the front, and we're almost doing the splits here, if you can see. Now if you can release the foot and just go back in the down dog. However, if you can't, from your Visvamitrasana, you can just drop the hips down to the ground and release the legs forward. And inhale up, exhale into seated forward fold Uttanasana. And let's do that one more time for good measure. Inhale up, exhale forward. And release. And if you'd like to try the other side, different ways to get out of it. So again, you're in down dog. And the other opposite leg will reach up and forward. Go into your fallen style. Lift up the foot, reach forward. Bring it up. See if you can get it all the way over. So again, either release and come back, push back into down dog, or from your Visvamitrasana, just drop the hips down and come out of it that way. And let's bring the legs into a cross-leg position. Roll the shoulders up and around. And even though this wasn't on both hands, it was still fairly wrist intensive. So we'll just kind of stretch out the arms, stretch out the wrists. One up, push it down. Other one up, other one down. And release. And let's inhale, come all the way up. And exhale down into heart center. And namaste.